So the first thing we're going to be jumping into today is called the avatar. Does anybody know what I mean when I say avatar? It is a film. It is, but we're not going there. I'm not too sure. So,
who you think you are and who people see you as?
kind of. It's more based upon exactly, but the opposite way. So this is your avatar of your ideal client. So it's you knowing exactly if you were to meet somebody, they jump out to you and you go, you'd be perfect for me. You're the person exactly for my business. So when we're going to be doing this activity, we're not trying to think of everybody that could possibly be our client, because one thing you need to understand and know straight away is everybody isn't your client. You know, when we're in business, sometimes we try and sell to everyone, we try and please everyone, and that's not right. We need to be able to niche right down and go, who's this perfect person that I'd want to work with, that is the best person, that gives me the least amount of headaches, easy to sell to, who's that ideal individual? So when we're going to be going through the avatar, you're going to be answering questions. There's a sheet for you to do to start pulling this information out your head. You might now be thinking and going, I already have a perfect client. If I had 10 of them, fantastic. 20 of them, yeah, give me more. So then you might already have clients in your mind that you go, that would be a perfect client to have all the time. So it's about us drilling in to know who these clients are. Because in the past, have you ever had a time when you kind of get a client and you've already got little doubts or little niggles and you think, and you push them to one side? Anybody ever had that before? Have them clients ever turned out to be all right? No. Yeah. So this is about us being able to understand exactly who our client is, and also with that, when you know who your client is, you're able to also say no with clients. And I've done it many, many times. In the beginning, it was something I didn't do. I wanted everyone. Like anyone that came, I was prepared to bend over backwards. I was prepared to do whatever they needed, even add extra services, add extra things into the job. Raise your hand if you've done that before. Yeah, absolutely. Well, sometimes... That absolutely, but do you know what? That was false economy, because they actually cost me money. There were some jobs I did that for that I didn't make any money from at all. It actually cost me. And I remember, you know, once I started to be able to look and go, who's this ideal client? And when I get those niggles in my belly that just don't feel right, being able to say no. I remember having a client come once and straight away dealing with our receptionists and the girls in the office and kind of saying, oh, I don't want you in my house. I want this Portaloo here. This was a construction company. And they were saying, we want this, we want that. And I don't want them payment terms. I want to do it like this and I want to do it like that. And the job was about a 35k job. So very, very quickly I thought, already I'm feeling this. And I haven't even started any work with you. I haven't took a deposit, nothing from you. So very quickly I said to the girls, we're not doing the job. And they were like, it's £35,000. Surely we can just go and get a Portaloo. I was like, well, yeah, we can, but that ain't the issue. This is the issue right now. Our values are clashing. We're not aligned at all. So I said no to the job, and I remember the woman kind of going, you can't tell me they're not working for me. And it was like, well, yeah, we can. Yeah, we can. That kind of customer, like the customer's always right, is a load of shit. You know, I don't believe in that all the time, especially when you feel like that's, you know, pushing against you. So knowing your avatar, and this is what we're going to be looking at, you know, for this session right now, digging in deep, pulling all the things out of your head that you possibly can. So when you find this person, you know exactly who they are. And I want you to kind of think of them as a person, not just a list of words. So you might even give this person a name. You know, I've known people kind of go, oh, this is my ideal client is a Becky. Becky loves to do this, and she loves going on holiday, and she loves these types of places. And so you kind of see that person and go, yep, that's fantastic. That's a person who I want in my business. So we're going to go through this right now. So pen and paper, guys, to jot some bits down. So avatar. The A in the avatar represents attributes. So when we're talking about our avatar and their attributes, what we're thinking about is the demographics of that individual. Their age, their gender, their location, marital status, what are they like, or what they do like as well. So we're trying to really pull out all of the attributes of an individual here with the avatar. Age, gender, location, are they single, are they married, what things do they like, do they have children, what's their interests. So that's what the A stands for. Does anybody in their head right now kind of know some of these things about their clients? The average age of your ideal client, the gender, the location. Some of you might be thinking, well, actually, I've never even given this any thought. Like, a client's a client. I don't really look into this, but this is important because once you know this information about your client, you're then able to market to your ideal client. You're able to send your messaging to your ideal client so the words are correct, the emotion that you send, the things you tap into with them is all correct as well. So when we're looking at attributes, we're thinking of age, the gender, their location, marital status, and the things that they like as well. Values. So this is really important because, especially with some services, you need to know what's important to them. Because you can buy a car and you might have the Volvo. What does Volvo say to people? What does it say to you, a Volvo? Safe, reliable, family car. What does a Lamborghini say to you? Fast, dangerous, nice, sexy. Completely different. So if you know the values of an individual and what they're looking for, you're able to then tap into that. So when you've got somebody coming in there after a Volvo, their values are going to be, I want safety. I want something that's going to be reliable. I want something that's going to protect my family. You get somebody going for a Lamborghini, it's like, sack all that. I want something that's going to skid me around the corners, I want a bit of a flair going on as well. So with your product or your services, if you're able to know what's important to them when they're coming to you, you can then tap into that because you're able to then speak their language to them and know exactly what that is. And then there's also about, what's their ethic morals as well? What things cross the line for them, especially with products. I know with John, his ethic morals is he wants to, make sure he does a very bespoke service for individuals, especially with the insurance side of things. And it's not about many customers, it's about having the right customer time and time again and taking care of them. And also out there, definitely with your values is being aligned with individuals in all aspects. I talk about this when we talk about, when I do a piece on tenants within our property business. Having your values aligned with your clients is essential. If they're not aligned, you're not going to speak the same language at all. They're going to see something completely different to you, and you're going to see something completely different to them. So if you're able to align your values, the language you speak, the way you communicate, your thoughts on things, get across so much easier. Instead of someone, have anybody had a prickly customer before? Yeah. And you just sense it, don't you? Yeah. Anything you're saying to them, what do you get back? You get the push, don't you? And you're thinking, I'm not really getting through here. Is it what you want? Isn't it what you want? I don't really know where we are here. And this is really important, especially if you're going to be starting working with clients over a long period of time as well. But also even if you're not, because if you have your values aligned, your message can be really succinct with them and what it is. There's no point in working with people who you think are knobs. It's as simple as that. I look at everybody in business, and you've chose to work in business. You've chose to take the risk on your own head. You've chose to make your own future and your own life. So I think it's really important to not surround yourself with people who aren't aligned with you, who work with you, or also your customers as well, because then it creates a business that's so much more harmonious instead of this tension that goes as well. And then there's aspirations. And this is about you knowing exactly what they want to achieve from your service and what do you give them. So Ronnie, for you, aspirations is a huge aspect, isn't it, of your avatar? Finding out exactly what that client, when they come to you, or what is it you're aspiring to achieve? Yeah. And digging deep.
Pretty much everything is built around that.
Yeah.
If you don't have one, we can't really move forward.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's essential, and it is with anything. Even in the wedding trade there, someone comes to you, you're like, well, what is it? What are you aspiring to look like? What's your aspirations with your wedding? What field you want? What type of dress? What does this feel like for you? Especially with your home, buying things for your home, or what does that look like? What type of feel are you looking for in your home? What does that future image look like as well? So really getting the understanding of an individual allows you to know exactly what it is you're able to offer them, or if you're not able to offer it. Because sometimes we don't have everything for everyone. And I think that's really important as well. So if you find yourself in your business thinking, oh, well, I might just do that because they want it, or I'll add that extra service because they asked for it, you need to really take yourself back sometimes and go, is that what my business needs? is it beneficial to the business, or do I need to like just keep the main thing? It's one of the hardest things, I think, being able to say no with things, you know, just say no with some things. And I think that's something we all need to master at times, you know, with that. Absolutely. The T is for trust. So this is about, with your avatar, thinking about how do you build trust? How do you create an environment where you pre-handle objections? So what I mean there is, when somebody's coming to you, they will already have objections in their head. They'll already have their little, you know, voice on their shoulder, kind of this little man going, what about this? And do we want this? And all them questions that we do. Has everybody done that before, buying things? Yep, where you're questioning things and you've got this little voice in your head and you've already got your objections. You know, if you've ever gone into a sofa shop and you already know if someone's going to come and approach you and you already have your answer. Oh, I'm just looking. Oh, no, I'm fine. And you're trying to keep people away from you. So as your job as a business owner, it's really important to build trust. And the way you build trust with people is by pre-handling objections. So if you already know the things that people say to you are the reason that they don't buy, and you're able to answer those questions beforehand, it just quiets that person's brain. It creates trust in them because they already have the answers. Our brain, when we don't have answers to things, we then start creating little stories and we go off on lots of different tangents, and we'll tell ourselves, yes, I want it, no, I don't want it, I'll sit on the fence, in and out with decisions. So if you're able to pre-handle and build trust and already answer questions that people might be thinking, and this could be in your marketing message, it might be when you speak to people on the phone, it depends on how you interact with your client, and if you know what these things are, that naturally builds a trust level there. And it also makes the sale so much more easier because you're able to revert back to and go, do you remember when we had that conversation, I told you about X, Y, and Z? And like, oh yeah, you already told me about that. So you're already dealing with objections as they come. Now, a lot of the time, trust is built by just informing people and quietening the brain for people. So all of these thoughts that are flying around there. And if you're able to do that in your marketing message, you're able to do it when you speak to people, you're able to answer people directly, whether you think you're right for them or you're not. That's a good thing as well. And here, the away. And you might be thinking, away? And this is the thing about thinking about an individual, the client, and thinking about what problems are they having? What things are pushing them away right now? So if you think about all the problems, where are they trying to get from and where do they want to be? So because anyone, when we're doing a product or a service, we are the link. We are the person from getting somebody from A to B with whatever that is. So there'll be a problem, there's something that they need solving, and you're the person who's able to solve it. So it's important to find out exactly, is this problem an emotional problem? Is it a practical problem? If you're able to know what that is and the language that people use, you're able to then take them from A to B. So you're able to get them away from the problem, because anything you sell is giving somebody a solution. That's what we do. We're providing a solution to an individual. And you need to know what they don't want. When you can establish what somebody doesn't want, what's this pain, what's this thing they're trying to get away from, you're then able to show the solution, which is massive. So if anybody's been to my one days, you'll remember, go back, I very, very early on in my one days, I'll say, so maybe right now you're here. And then I'll talk into possibly you might have a business that you're working all the hours that God sends, and you just feel like you're getting nowhere. Maybe you're looking at your bank account every day and actually you're thinking, shit, there's nothing in it. What's all this for? You might have a pain in the stomach, the pit of your stomach when you're looking and thinking, how am I going to pay all my staff right now? And then, in this case, go, so if this is where you are right now, where do you want to be? Now imagine over here, you look at your bank account and it's actually flowing. You have the time now to do what you want to do. Business isn't calling on you 24 hours a day. How does that feel? Imagine being able to leave a legacy for your children that your family members that can just run without you having to choose, do I spend time with my family or do I have to work? Raise your hand if you'd like that. So those are the look at us, we're like, yep, I want that. So if you're able to know and think into your actual client and go, what are their pain points? What are the things that, when they're coming to me, that I solve for them? What are the things that is going to help them? And you can get then emotional with it. Because then people go, oh, you speak my language. You know exactly what it is I want. I'm on the same page as you. So there's all of these things that we need to know. What is it that you bring to the table? What's the solution for that individual as well? And then here, it's about role play. So this is not about you standing there and role playing with them face to face and acting it out, but it's about you really trying to get into their shoes and think about anything that you haven't covered, if there's any gaps. Because the more that you're able to understand the psyche of your ideal client, the more that you're able to dig deep, know exactly what it is you offer, and get that message across as well. And if you're able to do that with an individual, then more likely you're able to build trust. You're more likely to be able to know whether they're the right person for you or if you're the right person for them as well. And you're more likely to actually sell, because it's not just a practical thing. You know this individual, their emotions, what it is they're after, and what it is you can actually serve them with. Because a lot of the time, people don't know who their avatar is. So sometimes we're selling to people a solution that actually doesn't work for them, or that it's not even the right person. We're selling things to people and it's like, well, actually, this person doesn't even need that. But we try to make it fit. And then if we try to make it fit, it all just doesn't work at all. So it's so important with the avatar is really to start thinking into those areas of an individual and getting to know your customer. So whenever we do any of our marketing, this is where we always start. We're always going, okay, what's the message? What do we want to get across to the person? Who's our ideal client? What's the gender? If we're doing Facebook, what's the age range we're looking at? What's the location of this person, right? What things do they read? What things are they interested in? Because if we're able to know this, we're able to pitch better and, provide our product to the right people.